Hello guys, welcome back to Underwater Astrology, here to give you the absolute best horoscope from my ability, from my studio, back in my studio to yours, what we can do to kind of get in the groove back in Libra season. We will have the sun in Libra starting September 23rd. Western Placidus astrology will have the Libra season start off with Moon in Capricorn, Mercury in Virgo and 12 degrees, Venus in Leo will be out of retrograde, Mars in Libra, Jupiter in Taurus, Saturn in Pisces coming up to 1 degree in retrograde, Uranus in Taurus and 22 degrees, Neptune in Pisces, Pluto in Capricorn, True Node Aries, and Chiron in Aries. And I want to tell you guys that I truly believe that this Libra season will be a lot about finding the divine alignment, to find where you find your edge and where you feel you fit in. Because I think a lot of you are trying to understand complicated scenarios, but what you have to realize is that this is life and that you can only keep going. This will be very karmic time for a lot of people. Libra, the sign of justice, balance, will be re-educating us what it truly means to balance. I see people going out of their comfort zone to understand how to strive to balance, although I think this will be very specific for every sign, because every sign does kind of work with that energy a lot differently. And it is important not to feel shameful about knowing that you need to balance something. And this balance comes from, for some of you, we will just talk about what exactly you need to balance. I want to say that this Libra season will start off very, 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 very pragmatic. The energy will be very focused. Mercury will be out of retrograde and it will be striving through Virgo. It will start off Moon in Capricorn already, with Pluto there. Already this feeling of fated rebirth that brings us into divine alignment with coming back into truly how to speak from our soul, while also attracting the relationships that see us for our highest good. So now we will go into the different signs and what that truly means for each sign. Okay, let's go. Thanks for tuning into Underwater Astrology. I need to be real, guys. This is some of the best stuff happening. We have the 12 zodiac signs. This is going to be some of the best energy. I truly believe Libra season is going to be some of the best energy for all the 12 zodiac signs. I think this is when everything kind of quiets down and you start really intellectualizing your issues, your karmic issues, and reevaluating situations for divine balance. So I'm going to start off with Aries rising. The sun in Libra is transiting your 7th house of partnerships. So I see a lot of you wanting to embrace your ego in partnerships, and then you're communicating about work, environment, and health. And these relationships are bringing you into balance. And Venus is going direct in your 5th house. So you're feeling a lot more confident about your love life, your romantic partners, your children. And Mars in Libra is in fact transiting your 7th house, telling me you are dotting the I's and crossing the T's. You are really conscious of really who is making you feel alive. Aries rising, you are the cardinal fire sign, the first sign of the zodiac, really setting us off this year with North Node and Chiron in your 1st house. And this is where I see a lot of you just showing how much you've healed. And you are much more condensed, more into your alchemized state after Chiron has pretty much made you super authentic in your 1st house, attracting the right vibrational relationships here that are really harmonized in your partnerships. Anybody who's not for you is not in your life at this time. And with Mercury Virgo, again, semi-sextiling Sun in Libra, it's telling me that your health is urging you to find balance in your partnerships. Let's move forward to Taurus rising. Sun in Libra is transiting your 6th house. Mercury in Virgo is transiting your 5th house. Venus in Leo will be going direct, transiting your 4th house. And Mars in Libra will be transiting your 6th house. For Taurus rising, it's Sun in Libra transiting your 6th house. So a lot of you are going to find beauty and harmonization in how you take care of yourselves. A lot of you are going to have to be the leader here. There's Jupiter and Uranus in your 1st, telling me that they're both in retrograde at this time, meaning you need to revise how you make people make you feel free, and you need to start realizing how you make yourself feel free, Taurus rising. And that's squaring Venus and Leo direct, that came direct in your 4th house, September 3rd. And that's telling me that a lot of you have spiritual growth to do with the freedom you feel and how you translate that into your home life. So some of you are just really working on freedom in your home life, and that is bringing you to spiritual growth. And I see a lot of you quieting down your ego and trying to work with your soul tribe, the other person, to find a harmonious balance. With Mars and Libra in your 6th, here with the Sun, it's telling me that you guys are really focused on health and environment. And it's so important to take pride in that. And actually the Sun in Libra and Mars in Libra are 11 degrees apart. So it's almost a conjunction. It's the feeling of a conjunction, not quite, but it's feeling like you guys are coming together with something you've been thinking about for a while. And that's really making you feel great. Taurus rising. Remember that the new moon solar eclipse is in fact happening October 14th in your 6th house. So a lot of revelations about your work and environment will come to fruition at that time. Venus again is going direct in your 4th house, September 3rd, and you're ruled by Venus. So a lot of you will feel more gratuitous at home. Maybe some of you were pulling back a little bit. Maybe some of you weren't feeling really connected to your home life. And this is a time where I do really feel that Taurus rising are just warming up to the energies. They're just like, I need to go deeper. I need to connect with my soul tribe. And this is where I see you guys really thriving. Let's move forward to Gemini rising. The Sun is in Libra transiting your 5th house. Mercury in Virgo is transiting your 4th house. Venus in Leo is, in fact, has been direct for a while, since September 3rd. So for about 20 days, it's been direct, and it's transiting your 3rd house. Mars in Libra is transiting your 5th house. So Gemini rising, this is a really playful time to understand you want to communicate with your creative process. You want to get that into action, either with short distance travel, meeting up with people who are like-minded. For some of you, going on short distance trips with your children, if you have children. And for some of you, it is about meeting up with these romantic partners. With Mars and Libra transiting your 5th house, it's showing me you guys have done the work. A lot of you guys are communicating with a specific group of people who are on your wavelength, who remind you of home. And these people love you, Gemini rising, unconditionally. And these are the people you should associate yourself with. This is a great time to just embrace the wavelength of Libra season. We have the new moon solar eclipse October 14th in your 5th house, which will be all about this new kind of creative outlook for a lot of you, Gemini rising. For some of you, you will find your person around this time. It's really exciting. Get excited, Gemini rising. For Cancer rising, Sun in Libra is transiting your 4th house. Mercury in Virgo is transiting your 3rd house. Venus in Leo direct is transiting your 2nd house. And Mars in Libra is transiting your 4th house. So, Sun in Libra. This is really important because it's transiting your 4th house. So a lot of you will see the truth of your home life, your soul tribe, and you will have an awakening here because you will just feel this effortless connection to the people you really belong with. And with Mercury and Virgo transiting your 3rd house, it's telling me that a lot of you guys will go on short distance travel trips and communicate with the people who really do feel like real family by this time. Venus and Leo is direct transiting your 2nd house. These are people you feel value you, and these are people you feel like you can move forward with your emotions. For Cancer rising, maybe some of you are struggling up to open up with some people. So you've been closed off and kind of hiding away. And I really do see this Libra season, you opening up and being like, I want to communicate with the people I really feel are like deep family. And this doesn't necessarily have to be family like brother, sister. It could be like soul tribe, brother and sister. Oh, by the way, Cancer, Cancer rising, there will be a new moon solar eclipse October 14th in your 4th house, which will give you a reawakening of your home life, your soul tribe, and what it really means to feel connected to your higher emotion. So be excited for that, Cancer, Cancer rising. For Leo, Leo rising, Sun and Libra transiting your 3rd house, Mercury and Virgo transiting your 2nd house. Venus and Leo has been direct for the past 20 days by the time we start Leo season, and it's transiting your 1st house. Mars and Libra is transiting your 3rd house. For Leo, Leo rising, this is a time when you need to balance your communication. So it's about literally taking a break and then coming back and communicating. For some of you, you've been extreme in your communication. You're not toning it down. And South Node is in Libra here in your 3rd house anyways till 2025. So a lot of you are learning to work with this karmic energy of I need this other person to communicate. What does that mean about myself? Well, obviously valuing your belief system is going to be the most important thing here, Leo, and understanding that you are a fiery fixed sun or you are a fiery fixed rising or both. And you really do need to put the brakes on things at times, and there's no shame in that. It's your life and it's what you do. It's the protective element that people miss out. And that's why when Leo, Leo rising are engaging in communication, it really is balanced. They really are seeing things from their past. Remember, Leo is about themselves and they look at their lives. They're not looking at your life and making it their life and then projecting them out. They're looking at their life and their experiences and working from that. With Mercury and Virgo transiting your 2nd house here, after the retrograde, this is just 8 days after Mercury has gone direct in Virgo. So by this time, Mercury has caught up. Venus is also direct here after 20 days. So we have Mercury and Venus direct. Venus and Leo is going direct in your 1st house. But you're much more compassionate. I do see a transformation here in Leo. We just had the retrograde for about, I want to say it felt like 3 months. I want to say it felt like 3 months, but when I look at the Venus in retrograde, it just started July 22nd, so it's been about almost a month and a week. But this is really deep because, of course, it was with Regulus, and it was like, we need deep compassion in our lives. I think this Venus in retrograde was that understanding of what it truly means to get ready for the power in your life with Lionsgate portal this year. That was August. It's always occurring from August 8th to August 12th. I think of 8 as a power number, and obviously with you guys, you have 8 here really being Pisces. So it's like Leo, Leo rising, you kind of have to be careful with the Neptune here, because Neptune is actually in Pisces and it's in retrograde till. So yeah, Neptune has been in retrograde from June 30th till December 6th, 2023 in your 8th house. And that has been like everything projected about your most intimate relationships has been projected upwards, and you've had to deal with it. With Chiron being in your 9th house, working through your belief systems with the North Node there, with the South Node in Libra, Leo rising, Leo, Leo rising. It's been like this whole relationship with Leo, Leo rising is that Leo, Leo rising in conjuncts Neptune and Pisces. So you're really passionate about the other person when you feel like there's a flow. But because Neptune went into retrograde, there are things that are coming up that are out of your control. And that's when the semi-sextile between Pisces and Aries going into Chiron and healing your belief system so that you can alchemize the best belief system. Because that's what you were created here to do. With Aries there, you have to make it about yourself, Leo, Leo rising. And I see that for you so strongly. And really, it is about the details here with Mercury and Virgo transiting your 2nd house. because it's going to be really about that new value system. Really, really being kind to people so that they're kind to you back. Anytime I see Virgo in a placement of a house placement to do with wealth, I think you're very lucky. I think you're really lucky. If you can communicate your value system here, I think you're alchemizing it a lot quicker. Of course, Uranus is going into retrograde, and it will be into retrograde in the sign in your 10th house with Jupiter there. So it's a time when you're noticing. This is funny. Leo rising is just noticing what's working in their career and what isn't. Like, what energy is really beneficial and what isn't. Where is the masculinity needed? And where is the feminine, the divine feminine here of appreciating the structure of a business and letting someone else take over so you can see the lighthearted energy that it is about to really create that new value system with Mercury just having been in retrograde and now it's direct. So Leo rising, Mercury goes direct September 15th. We will be in a retrograde for pretty much 3 weeks. A little bit over 3 weeks. To really make sure that you guys are, really looking at that value system and really communicating here. I think the universe is like, please, just communicate, It is about working through the paranoia, though, with Neptune and Pisces in the 8th house. A lot of it is just like these projected scenarios that you have to do the work to realize what is the addictive side of Neptune and what is the higher love of Neptune. What do you think God intended for you to have Neptune transiting your 8th house in retrograde? That's telling me a lot of you guys are reevaluating your resources and noticing with that opposition, with the Mercury opposition to Neptune, it is about the growth. And the growth does involve communicating. And that's why you have Mars in Libra at that time. And the Sun in Libra to really communicate, okay, I've done the intellectual. Let's hear somebody's intellectual side. Is it balanced? Do I feel balanced? Am I making the right choices with placing my money in this specific investment? Are there better investments? Are there better opportunities for me to seek more sustainability? Because Mercury and Virgo in the 2nd house to me is not necessarily like an Aquarius in the 2nd house, where it's more detached and collective based, or even highly individualized, but within the collective. Whereas Virgo is like sustainable choices. That's what I see for Leo rising this Libra season. Let's move forward to Virgo rising. The Sun in Libra is in fact transiting your 3rd house. Let's move forward to Virgo rising. The Sun in Libra is transiting your 2nd house. Mercury in Virgo is transiting your 1st house. Venus in Leo is now direct after 20 days, transiting your 12th house, and Mars in Libra is transiting your 2nd house. For a lot of you who experienced that Venus in Leo heaviness for the month and a week of the Venus retrograde, I want to tell you that it's going to get a lot easier now that it's been direct. You're going to start to see things and notice things a bit on a more nuanced level that you've been waiting so badly, because the retrograde did make you just go into complete compassion for a greater cause, which is great, Virgo rising, but a lot of you weren't seeing so clearly because it was retrograde. Now that it's going direct in your 12th house, you know how to place your energy in the mutable earthly way that you do, harvesting things in many directions. That creates a sense of love. I feel like a lot of you will feel. Sun in Libra is transiting your 2nd house, which is a great placement to value yourself. I see a lot of you guys in relationships that you feel valued in by this time, by Libra season. With Mercury and Virgo transiting your first house, finally it's out of retrograde. So now, it's been 8 days out of retrograde. So now it's moving forward. So with this energy, you're feeling like, okay, like a lot of you had that Mercury Neptune opposition retrograde where you were like evaluating relationships and do I feel seen or do I just feel completely misunderstood? And for a lot of you that was hard, but to like work through. But now you guys are like in your mojo because it's back in your first house and there's more energy to be seen here. And people are really understanding you a lot easier, Virgo rising. With Mars and Libra transiting your second house here as well, again, I see you guys doing things that are a bit more dreamier, things that are feeling more connected to your value system, and that's just making you feel so much love, Virgo rising. We in fact have a new moon solar eclipse in Libra happening October 14th in your second house. So this energy is running through the month. It'll be like this for a month. As soon as we start Libra season, it'll be September 23rd, and then we have the new moon solar eclipse 21 days later. So enjoy this Libra season, Virgo rising. Let's move forward to Libra rising. So the sun in Libra has been transiting your first house. Mercury in Virgo has been transiting your 12th house. Venus in Leo is now direct transiting your 11th house. And Mars in Libra is transiting your first house. For a lot of you, Libra rising, it's really about quieting the mind here. A lot of you guys might have been a bit triggered because of South Node Libra and what that brings, the karmic elements. But as soon as you start partnering up and finding the right combination to your energy, that's when you guys start thriving. As soon as you start going into your authentic relationships, that's when the weight falls off, Libra rising. Mercury in Virgo is transiting your 12th house. Mercury in Virgo is transiting your 12th house. So for a lot of you, you guys just had a retrograde in the 12th house. And for a lot of you guys, that was this 3-week-long retrograde where you were really thinking about the subconscious mind and working through some of those addictive habits, or even just working through some of the blocks to abundance for some of you. I'm not going to say all of you were working through addictive habits, but I do think a lot of you were working through abundance blocks. The 12th house is ruled by addictions. It is ruled by the hidden enemies, right? It is ruled by self-undoing. So it is important to realize when you communicate, when Mercury's out of retrograde, I hope some of you journaled, and now you're communicating knowing exactly what things to avoid to say to bring on that kind of unsoothing element of the 12th house, which is the self-undoing, into addiction or into limiting beliefs here, Libra rising. Venus in Leo is transiting your 11th house. So for a lot of you, it's about spreading that love to your higher aspirations, your colleagues, and that's when the fire starts going and you're experiencing Mars and Libra in your first house. And that's where I see that Venus and Leo trining the Mars and Libra, bringing that harmonious energy of like you being out, feeling seen with the right people at the right time. For Scorpio rising, the sun in Libra is transiting your 12th house. Mercury in Virgo is transiting your 11th house, and Venus in Leo is in fact direct transiting your 10th house. Mars in Libra is transiting your 12th house. So for a lot of you Scorpio rising, you're working with this 12th house energy of abundance, of rest and mindfulness and journaling and meditation and yoga. And that's helping you connect with people in those sorts of fields. And then you're feeling like you can really rejuvenate so much on an energetic, spiritual level that you really can point to your career and bring that Venus and Leo heat that is in fact transiting your 10th house. So this is your persona. It's a bit fiery It catches people's attention, but you're also doing the shadow work to sustain the momentum. So it's not like somebody's just buying your album, or somebody's buying your movie, or somebody's showing up to a meeting. It's somebody wanting to hire you. It's somebody wanting to follow you on all social media. It's someone wanting to be a part of your life and your journey and your experiences. And for Scorpio rising, that's great, because you're thinking about your dreams now, because Mercury and Virgo is transiting your 11th house. So you're already on that wavelength. So this is a great time for you to balance the aspect of the South Node Libra, which is your subconscious mind and higher love, but also working through those conditioned environments and realizing, how do I bring in more healing elements to my work environment so that there is still a bit of fire that I can start that's getting me through the day. For Sagittarius rising, Sun is in Libra, transiting your 11th house. Mercury's in Virgo, transiting your 10th house. Venus in Leo is transiting your 9th house. Mars in Libra is transiting your 11th house. For Sagittarius rising, Sun in Libra is transiting your 11th house. For a lot of you, it's about balancing the intellect of where you are and where you want to go. It's almost seeing the intellectual value of your dreams and the emotional sustainability of what you're channeling your dreams from. So what I'm saying is Mercury and Virgo is transiting your 10th house. So your mind is on your career and your public persona. And Venus in Leo has been direct for 20 days, and it's transiting your 9th house of belief systems. So a lot of you are working through this heat from Venus and Leo with your belief systems. You're feeling that. And you're also feeling just like a lot of balance with the intellectual value and the emotional value with your dreams. And that's bringing you to then understand why you are where you're at. And because you're understanding that, that's bringing in much more just balance here into your dreams and aspirations. You're not in such a rush. You're balanced. Your perspective is, I have time. And that's how Sagittarius rising should be, because you guys are further along the zodiac. So the zodiac is designed for each house to bring out a certain element of your sign that really does rationalize the energy. And for you guys, it is Libra and 11th, telling me that it takes maturity to be in those high places that some of you are trying to achieve, and that does take balance. For Capricorn rising, the Sun in Libra is transiting your 10th house. Mercury in Virgo is transiting your 9th house. Venus in Leo is transiting your 8th house. And Mars in Libra is transiting your 10th house. For Capricorn rising, this is the time when a lot of you are just balancing the way your belief system is shaping up how you're seen. And because Mercury and Virgo is trining Capricorn rising, this element is so harmonious, you're noticing your belief systems and you're tweaking them. And Venus in Leo has been direct for 20 days, transiting your 8th house. So through just regularly understanding other people's resources, you're attracting more resources. So through understanding other people's resources, you're attracting other people's resources. Through understanding intimate relationships, you're attracting more intimate relationships here. Capricorn rising. And Mars and Libra is transiting your 10th house, all to do with the public persona. So for a lot of you, you are working through your belief systems, and then you're charged to apply it in your career. And that's really fun and amazing for you guys, Capricorn rising. For Aquarius rising, the Sun in Libra is transiting your 9th house. Mercury in Virgo is transiting your 8th house. Venus in Leo is transiting your 7th house, and it's been direct for 20 days. Mars in Libra is transiting your 9th house. For Aquarius rising, it's really important to see your intellectual and your emotional value system to your beliefs. Because a lot of you are going to be brought into a place of balance with some of your belief systems. And Mercury in Virgo is transiting your 8th house. So for a lot of you, it's like the kinder you are, the more you're attracting other people's resources. It's like the kinder you are to people, the more you're attracting other people's resources. And Venus in Leo has been direct for 20 days, and it's transiting your 7th house, all to do with partnerships. So now is a time to really use that heat and be present with partners. I think, or partnerships or business partners, because a lot of you will need to be present at this time because Leo wants presence, and that's what's bringing in the fullness you feel in your relationships. And with Mars and Libra transiting your 9th house, it's going to be, again, is there over-idealization here with how you're seeing your belief system, or is it true? And that's something you will have to figure out because it's Libra, and you have to balance the intellectual and the emotional. And you already are doing that, Aquarius rising, because you're like, people are too emotional. I'm intellectual. I need to stay intellectual. I need to stay ahead. And that's why you already know the answer. And that answer is that, of course, you need balance. And of course, that comes through relationships. And of course, you need to be present in your relationships to feel the balance. Aquarius rising. For Pisces rising, the Sun in Libra is transiting your 8th house. Mercury and Virgo so for Pisces rising, Sun in Libra is transiting your 8th house. Mercury and Virgo is transiting your 7th house. Venus in Leo is direct for the past 20 days, and it's transiting your 6th house. Mars in Libra is transiting your 8th house. So for Pisces rising, a lot of you are dealing with that Neptune in retrograde that started June 30th in your 1st house. That will lead us right up to the end of the year, almost to the end of the year, December 6th, 2023, when Neptune, in fact, will go direct. So we're right in the middle of the Neptune retrograde. I feel like some of those bigger shifts have already happened by this time, and it's more effortless. A lot of those bigger shifts have already happened in the Neptune retrograde. And now it's more coasting for Pisces rising. And I think the Sun in Libra in the 8th house is just kind of the justice energy of you know how to be intimate by this time because you've been doing so much work with that Neptune retro. You know how to be intimate in relationships, Pisces rising, because you've been doing so much work with that Neptune in retrograde in your 1st house. So by this time, I see a lot of you just being so diligent in your communication with partners. And because Mercury was just in Virgo in retrograde, and now it's direct, and then Venus was in retrograde, and now it's been direct for 20 days, and Mercury in Virgo has been direct for 8 days in your 7th house to do with business partners, and Mars in Libra is transiting your 8th house. So for a lot of you, it is kind of give and take here. It is the balance of, yes, I'll take some, and yes, I'll give some back. And that's what's going to create the momentum to get through Libra season. It's not hanging on to everything people say. It's realizing people are not perfect because you have Virgo transiting your 7th house. So Mercury and Virgo, so you're noticing things in partnerships, but then you have to realize that Venus is in Leo in your 6th house, and you need to work on your environment here to feel that, fire, that fixed fire to get you out of those emotional ruts. And that will also control your spending, because with Mars and Libra in the 8th, Venus and Leo is trining Mars and Libra, so that's harmonious, whereas Pisces and Libra isn't in conjunction. So a lot of you, if you don't regulate your health and your work environment and your routine, I see a lot of you overspending or over gambling in relationships, whereas you should rather just kind of understand who is for you. And you already know by this time, Pisces rising. So just stay in the know here, because there might have been confusion with that Mercury and Virgo going retrograde, with the Neptune and retrograde in your 1st. Some of you just might not have felt seen in relationships. But by this time, because it's Libra, it rules justice and balance, you will feel seen in those intimate relationships, and you will attract those intimate relationships, and you will be in harmonious partnerships. And it is about sustaining your work and sustaining your health that keep you in that abundant, attractive mode for you guys to be in intimate relationships, and for some of you to be attracting other people's resources. It's the maintenance of your health here that really becomes attractive to other people. So that's it for this Libra season. Thank you so much for tuning into Underwater Astrology. I can't wait to see you guys for Scorpio season.